Alrighty, y'all. I'm back with part two. Long time waiting. No, yeah. I hope I didn't keep y'all waiting too long, but I did have a few people. They kind of hit me up on the side, like, "Hey, I saw part one of this video about you healing your mommy wounds. Is there a part two?" Tis. There might even be a part three. I really don't even know how this is going to unfold. I'm kind of just channeling these messages just in real time. There are no notes. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just a free flow. And so there may be a part three, there may be a part four. It just really depends on how much I get through today. And so I'm gonna jump right in. So where I left off in the last video was um, joining the Sister Circle. You know, I had attracted and was in relationship in marriage with my daughter's father, and had just been able to see myself so excellently in that relationship that I just recognized that I needed to heal a part of me that had nothing to do with that relationship, had nothing to do with me being a mother. I had to heal a part of me that was kind of trapped back in my childhood trauma, in my relationship with my parents. And so just saw myself so clearly, and made the decision to join a sister circle, sister healing community, where we were healing our relationship with ourselves, relationship with our womb, um, relationship with our womanness. And so we read the book. We read through the book, Sacred Woman by Queen Afua. The front cover is missing because your girl was working on this. Like, this is a real thing. And so decided to just read through this book, follow the instructions and the guidance that was channeled, by Queen through Queen Afua, that was in this book, and just got started on my healing journey, y'all. Quite frankly, like, just got started and did the work. That's where I'm gonna. That's where I left off. So that's what I'm gonna pick up today in this video. Okay, and so, where to begin? Oh my gosh, it's just like, how it's like so many parts to something, and you're like, where do I even start? Like, which string do I pull? Like, it's so many parts. Let's start with August of 2017, which is August of 2017, and perhaps at this point, all of 2017 was just a very clear turning point in my soul's evolution and in my soul's healing journey. August of 2017, I had what most would call a Kundalini awakening. I'm not gonna get into all the tit tats about what that is, what it's not, etc. But just know that there was a part of me that was asleep, very noticeably asleep, before August 2017, and there was a version of me that woke the fuck up after August 2017. All right. August 2017 was the month that, and of course I'm not going to tell y'all all my business because that's my business. Oh my goodness. Y'all heard what Tabitha said. That's my business, But I want to tell you as much of my business as I can, because I do believe that in us sharing our story, we can find some type of connection point in our situation, and we can find ways to heal our situation by hearing other people's stories. And so I am going to share a majority of my situation, but some of this is my business, so I'm not going to tell you all my business. All right, I'm going to tell you. But August 2017, I experienced, we'll call it a triggering event. All right, triggering event, an event that triggered my trauma so excellently that I had no choice but to look at it and reassess the situation and like scale back and see what the heck happened there. All right. And so I had this triggering event. This triggering event also just because I had to look at so much and scale back so much, it was like my third eye just like popped open in a way that it had never. I've always been someone who was wise. I've always been someone who has a certain level of depth to them. But when I say I graduated to the deep end of the pool after August 2017, that means that like I was able to see myself, my marriage, um, my journey, my soul's journey, um, and a few more other things extremely clearly, extremely more clear, I should say. And so, August 2017, y'all, I broke open. Something I had a devastating realization. It was very uncomfortable. Understatement. I'm fairly certain I died a little bit. A version of me died around that time, and I just went into a deep grieving and mourning phase for what I thought, who I thought I was, what I thought my marriage was, um, what I thought life was. I began to, that I had such an eye-opening experience. I was able to see so much that I realized after this event that everything that I thought I knew regarding myself, my relationship, life, my role in life, everything I thought I knew was not true. And not to say that it was a lie, because I think there are levels of truth. But I was able to now see deeper into the truth of who I was and deeper into the truth of my relationship, deeper into the truth of life and my role in it. And so that meant I had to accept that the life I had built, the self that I had built, etc., was no more. And I could never get back to seeing myself and my life in that previous way. And so woke me up and also cut me deep. It cut me deep. Okay. It cut me deep. And so that was August 2017. Mind y'all, I'm hella grateful for this awakening because I would never be able to realize or actualize this version of myself if I had not had to put to bed the previous versions of myself. So grateful, and yet cut me deep. Okay. Cut me deep. And so August 2017, I break open. That's basically how I explain it. My heart just breaks open, my eye break open, and out spills all the things that I was trying to hold together. It just spills. It just spills. Um, I don't have a lot of memory of the rest of that year. Um, But what I do remember is I had this sister girlfriend who I met her through work, but then we kind of just clicked instantly and we just vibed. I had this sister girlfriend who she was already ahead of me in her healing, opening up her healing gifts and in her healing journey, in her sacred woman journey. She felt led to start a local sister circle community. All right. Mind you, she had asked me already, maybe earlier 2017, because I feel like that's when she really, really got started. And I just wasn't ready. AKA wasn't broke enough, wasn't broke open enough or whatever. And so I was like, no, I'm not going to do it. Because, when I do something, I want to do it. Like, I want to commit. And so I wasn't ready to do that. And I wasn't there. And so, but by August 2017, after, the triggering event, your girl was ready. Okay. I was broke, and looking for a way to mend. And so before January 8, 2018 came around, or at least by January 2018, this sister girlfriend invited me to be a part of the second cycle of her sister healing community, her sister sacred woman sister healing community. And at this point, it was a yes. It was immediately yes. It was like, where do I sign up? Yes. Because again, I was desperately needing to heal this thing that had just broken me open in such a crazy way. And so bought the book, was eager to read this book, brought the book, set my intentions to join and to commit, and just gathered all the information I needed to know. When are we gonna meet? Where we gonna meet? What we gotta wear? What we gotta do? What's the commitments, etc. All right, just getting all the details. January 2018 rolls around. We begin to start meeting. Okay, I I I make sure that I have childcare for my daughter on the days that we meet. We meet like, I think, every other Sunday or every Sunday, something like that, at a specific time, face to face at this point, it was a local art studio. Okay. And so, linked up, met, into the space. We all had to wear all white, so I had to find white. Okay. Because that won't even a part of my wardrobe for real. Because everybody know that white get messy early, get messy soon, and get messy easy. So, had to mobilize my whites and had to get my nerves and myself together, because at this point I'm still heavily in a trauma programming which says no new friends and you don't air your dirty laundry, which I'm about to go air this dirty laundry in front of strangers. So like completely throwing my program upside down and right side, wrong side right, like just completely shaking my whole my system up. And so I meet, I go into the space, sit in the space, ask a ton of questions about where to sit, how to sit, what to do, you know what I'm saying? Like, don't know nothing about what we're about to do. Don't understand what's happening. Just know that, I'm in need. And this is the space, and I'm just going to take it one step at a time. And so go into the space and allow my sister girlfriend to lead us through conversation, through reading the book. I allow, maybe for the first time in a long time, someone else to lead me, where historically I would be the leader. I allow someone else to lead me. And it was, that in and of itself was very healing. Resisting the urge to take on leadership roles within the sisterhood was very challenging. But I was getting very clear messages that, like, Deneen, you are not here to be a leader. Even though you are a leader, you are not here to be a leader in this capacity. You are here to be poured into. You are here to be nurtured. You are here to receive. And so respectfully decline taking on any roles where you're needing to pour into people, and resist that urge and that need. Okay. And so I had clear instructions about that. And so I went in, I set up my little mat, my little journal, my little spot, and sat. I don't know if I really like mixed and mingled heavily, but I know I mixed and mingled enough to like say I did it. But for the most part, I was introspective. I was in my mind. I was going against my rehearsing my programming, but then trying to relax, trying to receive, trying to get into a receptive mode, and just really listening for what I needed to do. I was really just like, what I need to do, like ready to write, like that. I was in that kind of a state, like just eager to listen, to get instruction so I could get to healing. And so I did that, met with all the sisters once or twice a month. What we did during the sister healing time together was we went through each gateway. All right. For those of you guys who are not familiar with Sacred Woman book and Queen Afua's gateways, every single gateway helps you to heal a specific aspect of yourself. The very first gateway 0, was Sacred Womb. We were healing our relationship with our womb. Now, y'all, I'm gonna tell y'all this. Let me see, how old was I? Okay, Zozo was here. I was still in my 30s. Okay, so I'm in my last year of my 30s now. I was in my 30s. All right, and this gateway, Sacred Womb, was inviting us to have conversation with your womb. Ask questions to your womb. First off, I had really not known what a womb was. Don't even know if I've heard that word before this book, or just wasn't aware of womb. Like, you know what I'm saying? I knew stomach, I knew uterus, I knew, you know what I'm saying, belly. Like, I knew the area, but the womb, you know what I'm saying? Like, I just had not intentionally thought about what a womb is, what my womb wanted or needed or didn't like. Like I had no relationship with my womb. I discovered this as I was answering all of the questions in the first gateway during our first week of meeting. You know, because we would meet in the every Sunday or every other Sunday. I don't remember, honestly, y'all. And we would read through the chapters, okay? Because the reading is heavy, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's a workbook. You know what I'm saying? So we would read through the chapters, and then we would of course we would do the, how do I describe this? They have like altar work that you need to do. Like, you set up an altar, you pray, you do fire breaths, it was a whole altar practice. And so we would practice together as if we were sitting at our altars at home. We would practice together, and we would then we would read through the chapters that were just educating you on the womb and African spiritual practices and blah 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 blah, right? And so that's what we would do. Well, we would also get assigned homework that we needed to do before we came back, you know. And it might be like, oh, so for this particular gateway 0, sacred womb, it might be like, okay, go to page 50 and 51 and answer the questions for your womb. So I was like, oh, easy, you know, ask these questions, boom, boom, boom. That's in my mind. In my mind, that's how I thought it was gonna be. Child, no, honey, you talking about stuck on question 1? Like, I'm stuck on question 2 for days. Like, I was like, I legit have never asked myself these questions, and the ergo don't know myself, worth nothing. Like, it was so eye opening, y'all. So some of the questions. All right, so things to contemplate. Oh no, should I say? Yeah, things to contemplate. Let me just run through these. So these are some of the questions I had to sit with myself and answer. Something you might want to discuss with your womb up front is why you might not have dialogued with her before. I was like, oh, y'all talking to me, huh? Number 2, do you feel that talking about your womb is important? Why or why not? Number 3, are you friends with your womb? Why or why not? Clearly, I was a frenemy because didn't know my womb worth nothing, stranger friend. 4, have you silenced your womb? Etc., etc. And there was some other things like ask your womb about her physical condition. Have you ever touched or felt your womb or vagina beyond washing yourself? What did you feel about her? When you touched the entrance to your womb or vagina, how did you feel about her? Were you embarrassed? Did you feel at ease? You know what I'm saying? Like, does your vaginal area have a clean smell? You know, they would ask questions about the physical. Then they would ask your womb about her emotional condition. Knowing that your womb is your center, identify and record the blows that your womb has taken and absorbed emotionally. How deep is your womb wound? What are some pains that you felt in your womb since childhood, your teens, or as a young adult, mother, or elder? How did you feel about your first menstrual period? Describe your first experience of sexual intercourse. So we're going deep, y'all. Like, these questions is taking me deeper and deeper into myself. This practice alone of just answering these questions in Gateway 0, before I got to Gateway 1, this alone began to send me in the most beautiful downward spiral into the Alice in Wonderland, you know what I'm saying? Like, tunnel. Like, it just took me into this beautiful place, and I just knew. I was like, this is what I've needed. This is what I've needed. This is what my mother just, she didn't know to give this to me. She didn't do this herself. She didn't connect with herself in this way. This is what I've been needing. This is what I've been missing, you know? And so went through the gateways. That was just Gateway 0. There were several gateway sacred words took me out because, like I told you, at this point in my life, my words, I was using them in a very like traumatic kind of way, sarcastic, angry, you know, nice, nasty, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, and had been softening over time, but when I started reading about sacred words and how my words are supposed to, it can be medicine or poison, You talking about checked me? That thing chin checked me? I was like, oh, okay. Oh, okay. Like, oh, okay. And so, red, all right? I immediately connected to this. It felt like balm to my like chapped lips. Like it was just like, oh, you know what I'm saying? And so I took a deep dive. A major part of the Sacred Woman journey was periods of celibacy, which I told you I was married, right? That did not go over well. You know what I'm saying? And my daughter's father was trying to be patient, but also having his own needs. But I needed what I needed to do what I needed to do, and I needed to separate my energy from other energy so I could see me and figure me out. And so had to take periods of celibacy, had intense waking routines, waking between 4 and 7 a.m. At one point I ended up saying, okay, I actually need to sleep in a separate room because I need to wake up without being touched and being pulled back to the bed, and like I just need to wake up in a fresh kind of way. Did not go over well. And mind you, he was super patient, and yet come on, you know what I'm saying? Like, so, I'm asking for a lot here, I know, and so there was a lot of rubs as I was trying to find my healing flow. I had to become a whole new person, and it upset order in a lot of the spaces that was used to me being the old version of me. Um, and that's just what it had to be because I needed this. And the more I healed myself, the more I looked at myself, saw myself, empowered myself, shed my trauma from my parents, um, the more I loved me. And I just didn't want to be the old version of me anymore, you know? Now, I will say that I spent several months and maybe several years trying to figure out how to hold on to what I had built and created before I started healing, how to keep it together while also giving myself permission to heal. I did try to like make that work, with friendships, relationships, workspaces, etc. Like I did. And eventually I just realized I couldn't. I was gonna have to choose. I was either gonna be my traumatized self and hold together all of those relationships that were in harmony with that, or I was gonna be my healed self and cultivate relationships that was more in harmony with that. Um, and maybe I'll speak about that at length in another video. But um, went through the first cycle of healing in January through April of 2018. By May, my birthday month of 2018, May, June of 2018, I recognized that I could no longer be in harmony with certain relationships. All right. They either had to evolve with me or I had to release them and let them go so that they could grow. All right. One of these relationships was the relationship with my daughter's father. And so he and I have been in a perpetual state of healing our relationship and trying to align vibrationally there since about 2018. Okay. And so, but that was the beginning of like, either we're gonna have to both heal this or it's rubbing because my energy is irritating yours is irritating mine. Like it's not a harmony, there's not an alignment, the compatibility is off. We're no longer trauma bonded. And so it's not matching no more. And so that's what we initially realized that. And there were periods of separation since then and now. There's periods of separation where we just kind of needed to figure some things out, come back together, try it again, blah blah blah. And we did that. We gave ourselves permission to do that. Was not easy, and honestly triggered a lot of my mommy daddy wounds, because as a woman we are taught that we are the ones to keep things together. Okay, we are the ones that's supposed to keep things together, and when we have to be the ones to initiate separate, separation, it kind of, you kind of have to like take a step back to discern whether or not, you know, you're making the right choice, because you've been taught your role is to keep it, to be the glue, basically. And so, oh, I remember having absolute clarity that I was making the right choice for my healing journey. But I also could remember thinking back to my mother and my father being in separation, how I wasn't with either of them, how that impacted me as a child. And I remember feeling very like hyper vigilant to make sure that like my daughter did not experience the whirlwind of trauma that I experienced because my parents entered into separation at it when I was a young age. And so I wanted to make sure my daughter did not experience that. Her father was on the same page. We did not want her to go through what we went through because our parents both were in separation when we were young, and it just threw us. And so mommy wound healing continuation, at this point it was 2018, between 2018, 2019, 2020. I mean, gosh, I could probably say the last 5 years or so, the healing of the mommy wounds for me has been how to prioritize my needs and wants as a woman, while also not dismissing other people's needs who are connected to me, while also making sure that I'm a proper role model, an example for my daughter when she goes into the world, when she gets into partnerships, when she has to heal. You know what I'm saying? So like this was like, I was into master's level, you know what I'm saying? Healing lessons starting once I ended that first cycle of Sacred Woman healing. Can I fast forward? I actually could unpack a lot more of what I just said, but we're already at 27 minutes. So let me fast forward a little bit and then I'll make another part. 2023, where we are currently, had another triggering event at the end of 2022. As a result of this triggering event, and honestly, I probably had multiple triggering events at this point, since 2021, since the passing of my that aunt that I just told you guys about who raised me. She passed away. Okay, she passed away in 2021. I should absolutely say that, and because that broke me open again in a way that revealed feelings that I did not know was there surrounding motherhood and my mother-daughter relationship. Because as much as my biological mother was my vessel to this earth, she did not raise me. I did not have memories with her, but my memories were all with my aunt who raised me. She did not birth me, but she raised me. And she and I had similar essences. And so when she passed, which was unexpected, by the way, it opened up so many things in me. Surrounding, I guess, how to be, I don't know how to explain it except to say it opened up all of these questions in me and all of these thoughts in me regarding how I could be my most authentic version of myself. Someone that my aunt would like be proud of, someone that my aunt raised me to be, you know what I'm saying? Someone that was a reflection of my aunt's best qualities, it raised in me all of these questions of legacy, Okay. And I know that's weird. Some people are like, "Oh, she's not your biological," but she was my spiritual, emotional mother, And so I had all of these questions, all of these things that I was thinking. That was 2021. And so yeah. Yeah. And so still processing some of those things, but what her passing did for me was it immediately after she was, we finished her memorial service. I just felt this, like, I just felt her boldness take over me, and I'm already a bold person, which is, so to have more boldness is like enough to need. Enough, but I just felt like her way of, like, no nonsense. Like, I just felt it take over me. And immediately I knew that I could not continue to hold space for friends or lovers or people who were not going to do the things to be in alignment with me. I could not continue to make excuses for people. I could not continue to shrink myself to make sure everybody was okay and they felt, like I could not. I felt very much like her passing propelled me forward in my healing journey in a way that kind of just, it felt empowering. It felt, I think I just felt, the words, I'm letting them come to me. Y'all be patient with me. Y'all can wait. I felt like I was ready to be me. I was not going to keep pussyfooting around it. I was ready to be me. And whoever I said I was going to be, that was who I was ready to be. That was it. Regardless of what anybody had to say, that was who I was going to be. I was just ready. And since 2021, I've been redefining who I am, just clarifying it, because I already started defining it in 2018 when I started the Sacred Woman journey. But 2021 to now, I've been fine-tuning it. I've been establishing my standards and boundaries in a more clear way. I've been showing up more frequently. I started doing these in like rhinestone areas, like in like rhinestone jewelry, right around when she passed, and just kept it going. And I think it was last year. I think either last year or this year, I think I got it tatted with my daughter. She went with me. I think we have many mothers, but I think there are specific women in our lives, specific caregivers in our lives who they imprint on us, and we feel we feel like a need to carry on something that they started. We feel a need to carry the baton into the next whatever and pass it to our next generation or people that we pour into. And 2021, I felt that from my aunt. I felt like I don't need to do exactly what she's doing, but I need to show up in the world exactly as she showed up, which was the way she wanted, and maybe not in all areas, but damn near, like damn near, and so that was me healing another level of my mommy wound, just scaling back to see that relationship and how that poured into me, how that created me to be the woman I am. That helped me to look at my mother, my biological mother, again, to pull out all of the beauty that she has poured into me, even in our absence, in our strained relationship. My mother has in her genes, she has given me all this beauty that y'all like to look upon. I look like my mother, you know. In my that feminine essence, that softness, that is my mother, and also that feistiness, that is my mother. My green thumb that I thought I didn't have, and yet looking, lo and behold, once I started healing my womb, I'm a green thumb out here, people, just like my mother. Like, there are things that my mother gave me without even meaning to, and there were things that my aunt gave me intentionally, such as identifying myself as a Nubian princess, which I now say goddess, but Nubian, you know what I'm saying? Not a Disney princess, Nubian, African, showing up as your authentic self, unapologetically. Like, there are some things that my aunt intentionally instilled upon us, teaching me about Kwanzaa in addition to Christmas, and so as I heal oh my God, it's 35 minutes, y'all. I'm about to be out of here. Part 3. But as I continue to heal my mommy wounds on this level, it's now about stepping into who I am. Like, first off, defining myself for myself. That's one. And then 2, stepping into those roles unapologetically. Yeah. Ashe. I'm gonna leave that there. I'm gonna digress. In the next, in part 3, I'm gonna talk about how and this just happened over this last year, 2022, 2023, how I realized that the dynamic between my daughter's father, me, and my daughter is a echo of my father and mother's relationship and me. And how I I had the option to either replay out my mom's dynamic, where how do I describe this without describing this? You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you just gotta say it. I had the option. I found myself at a crossroad where I was like, all right, Deneen, you can either over pour into other people, relationships, lovers, friends, whatever, family, to the point where you are empty and you hope they pour into you, even though they're not going to, right? And you don't have enough to give to your daughter, right? And that just hits the fan in all kinds of ways, because now you look like you can't take care of them, blah, 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 right? Or you can prioritize what you need, pour into yourself, prioritize what your daughter, prioritize being a good role model for your daughter. Do you know what I'm saying? And teach her how to know when you are overpouring into other situations and ultimately sabotaging yourself and sabotaging your life purpose, etc., etc. Okay? So I was at that point over this last year where I was like, what you about to do? You about to just sabotage your whole life purpose because you want to keep something together, or you want to you want to look like it's good, when it's not. Like, what are we about to do here? Like, what we're about to do here, And so I'm gonna talk about that in part 3. I hope I tried to put that and describe that in a way that made sense. It made sense to me, but I'm gonna describe it really excellently in part 3. So stick with me, y'all. Healing these mommy daddy wounds, all right? But definitely healing this mommy wound first, or foremost, not first. All right, y'all. Talk to y'all soon.